I would like to call to order this meeting of the Stanley Cup playoff edition of the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners. That gives you an indication it's going to be short. You're right. I would note for the record that the board did meet in executive session to discuss matters of personnel, litigation, and real estate, all of the above. All commissioners are here except Commissioner Rybarczyk and Commissioner Johnson, who are attending their daughters' respective graduation ceremonies. Congratulations to them. And we will have a Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence, and I would ask that Commissioner Fleming lead tonight's pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We'll start with petitions, complaints, suggestions from citizens. Do we have anybody that wishes to address the board tonight? Oh, okay. And we also have a management change to STEMS. What? Oh, don't be shy. Come on up. Please state your name and for the record.
Occupation.
And whereabouts on June the 12th.
Yeah. Anyhow, my name is Elliot Markovitz. For the next few days, the executive director of Susquehanna Township EMS. With me is Matt Bailey, who will be the incoming executive director and remain as chief. We're combining the two positions. So I guess you could say it's like the athlete who's retiring. I'm making a farewell tour of municipalities. And just wanted to say that, you know, this will be my last meeting as the director. And I can't, you know, I've been involved in the township for a long time. You know, I was trying to figure back. You know, I was a probie firefighter at age 39. You know, I mean, and then have been involved in emergency management here in the township. So this is kind of I didn't know that I was going to get like emotional, but it is. You know, I've been involved, you know, for a long time, and you know that's coming to an end. It's coming to a close. I'm staying on as a volunteer, so you're liable to still see me at football games or sitting up at Fort Hunter in an ambulance going, "Why am I here?" You know, but I'll continue to do some training. But I wanted to thank all of you for the support working with you over the years. Sometimes it's been challenging, other times it's been downright fun, but it's, you know, the board has truly helped us and supported us. And I do appreciate that. You know, the township, whether they know it or not, should appreciate it for all that you've done for us. And I'm just here to say thank you. You know, for what you've done for, you know, to help us out. And of course ask that, you know, we continue to work with Matt. We did have in Pembroke, as Bruce can attest, one of their council people who had trouble, I should say she had trouble discerning the word painter and printer about an electronics disposal plan coming up. During their council comments, you know, everyone, you know, hey, Elliot, thanks for all you've done. We'll look forward to working with Matt. They get to her, and she thanks me for, you know, coming to the meetings and working with the borough. And to Matt, you're going to be a lot better to look at.
Wow. All right.
Absolutely true.
All in favor?
No argument on here.
I'm just glad I didn't say that.
Oh, man.
Fred speaking for the ladies who are not present.
I understand, you know. But, okay, Matt, and I think Matt just wanted to say
Yeah, I don't have
something.
anything to add. I think most of you have probably met me or know me. The only thing that really changed is obviously the face, and that I'll be now sending direct reports to Director Martin. So there's a little bit more feedback of STEM performance. So if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd just like to say that Elliot has served with distinction as the executive director of STEMS. He came into that position at a rather difficult time, transitioning from one executive to him, and he stayed the course. He made us have a lot more confidence in the administration of STEMS, and you'll be sorely missed. You've done an outstanding job, and you should be commended for that. And thank you, and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We got a lot of things done, Fred. Commissioner Engel,
Wow.
we got a lot of things done with STEMS through your active participation and Elliot's. You know, like the matching grant program and a number of grant initiatives that we pursued and successfully for the most part. And so, you know, we're going to miss you, Elliot. Going to miss Matt more, but no, much better to look at. But, you know, I'd also like to thank, a lot of your success has been due to the active participation of Commissioner Engel and his unwavering support. And I know it's a mutual road to help build that relationship between the township and the independent emergency management service. So thanks to you both. Anybody else care to speak tonight? Okay, moving on to the approval of minutes from the May 11th regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
Moved in second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. May 25th workshop meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports of committees. Buildings and Grounds. Commissioner Schubert.
Mr. President, I'd like to say that again, the public safety building seems to be finishing up, and we'll be looking forward to a grand opening in the nearest future. And everybody will have a chance, opportunity to tour the building and see, see it firsthand. So we're real pleased with how everything turned out there. That's my report.
All right. Thank you. Budget. Commissioner Sanderson.
No report, thank you.
Thank you. Highway. Commissioner Napper.
Yes, Mr. President. The Highway Department report for the month of May. The Highway Department installed new signs and repaired damaged signs. They patched potholes, repaired inlets, and cleaned storm-out drains throughout the township. Roadside grass mowing and street sweeping continues. For more information, you can check the township website. The Highway Department installed speed bumps on Schoolhouse Lane, Atlantis Lane, and Brookfield Road. And as a final note, Mr. President, roadway grading has begun in the First Ward on the Uptown Drainage Project on Parkway Road and Montours. This ends my report.
All right. Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Health and Sanitation. Mr. Sanderson.
Thank you. No report. The Health Committee has taken a bit of a hiatus. I'm not sure if we'll have another one, but generally they take a summer break. So unless there's any pressing issue, I expect the same to continue.
Great. Thank you. Administration and Personnel. Commissioner Napper.
No report, sir.
Thank you. Police. Commissioner Engel.
No report.
Thank you. Fire and EMS. Commissioner Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to echo the comments of Commissioner Schubert, the Public Safety Building Expansion Project is nearly complete, and the Rescue Fire Company is starting to furnish it. And with our recent DHS retention and recruitment grant having expired, Fire Marshal Dries has sought out a benefactor that's awarding 3 scholarships to Progress and 3 scholarships to Rescue firefighters for their college studies for the semester. And anyone interested in joining the Township's fire service or the College Live-In program is asked to contact Fire Marshal Dries. And we'd like to offer special recognition to Progress firefighter Bob Sharp, who was flagged down by a woman whose stove was on fire, and he extinguished it before the companies could respond. So that's a lesson in being in the right place at the right time. So we thank firefighter Sharp for his quick actions on that. And then finally, the Edgemont Fire Company on Saturday is having a chicken barbecue and flea market, and so we hope to see you all there. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner. Recreation, our two chairs, liaisons, are not in attendance. Do we have any reports?
No report.
All right, thank you. Planning and Zoning Commissioner Schubert.
Yes, Mr. President, we've had for some time now a vacancy at the alternate position on planning, and I would like to nominate Mrs. Rhoda Barish to serve as the alternate member of the Planning Commission. She's a longstanding resident, 25-year director of the Londonderry School and since retired, and I know she will, be a great addition to our Planning Commission and serve as well.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else?
That concludes my report.
That concludes it. All right, thank you. Bids and agreements, Archbond Settlement and Release Agreement, Mr. Foreman.
As the board is aware, at the Maplewood residential project up near the Widener Law School, the board, on behalf of the board, we initiated a bond claim to finish the public improvements on that project, basically to finish the street. Rather than pursue the litigation, one of the principals on the bond has agreed to finish the street, and this would be the board's agreement to accept that and release the bond when that work is successfully performed, which is all that we ever wanted them to do anyway. I ask that the board accept that settlement agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is that it, Mr. Foreman?
That's it.
On that
Thank you.
one? Sure. Ordinances and resolutions and subdivisions. Ordinance 17-06. Anybody? Anybody?
Mr. President,
Let me just
you want to read it?
read what it is.
Okay.
This is an ordinance. We had a hearing about this and the companion following ordinance that we're going to get to in a second. And this is an ordinance amending the Susquehanna Township zoning ordinance regarding the definitions for restaurant types, increasing height of buildings, excluding retaining walls, requirements for rooftop mounted equipment, and parking calculations for shopping centers. Mr. Schubert.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to pass ordinance 17-06.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment?
Mr. President, I just have a quick comment. I just want to thank our Economic Development Director, Betsy Logan, for her work on this. And just note, this has been several months in the making, and a lot of fine details have been worked out in this process. And so I wanted to thank the township staff for that as well. Manager Kratzer, again, Ms. Logan, it makes needed updates to our ordinance in this regard. So thank them for that.
Well put. Thank you. Any other comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And this is, next is ordinance 1708, and this would amend the zoning map to change the boundaries of the CH Commercial Highway District to include 3 tax parcels that are enumerated in your packets.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance 17-08.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 2552 Interstate Drive. Mr. Rohr.
Good evening. Before we read the summary, a couple of notes. Comments number 4 and 7 have been taken care of, so we can cross them off. Also, the property will have sidewalks. They originally requested a waiver, but that is no longer the case.
How far down will the sidewalks go? To the entrance to Willow Walk?
Entrance to Willow Walk? Yes.
Great, thank you.
2552 Interstate Drive, it's a final land development plan for the purpose of constructing a 4-story office building with a parking garage over 51,000 square feet. Property is zoned BOR and it's 10.5 acres. Plan was recommended for approval by the Planning Commission contingent on 3 waivers. Waive the preliminary plan requirement, waive the knocking out of inlet box covers, and to waive the basin dewatering time requirement.
Is there a motion on the waivers that are requested?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the waivers.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? Favor?
I'm sorry, just a quick question on 2 and 3. Preliminary plan's pretty,
I will defer to Mr. Grubik.
okay.
I'd like to ask Mr. Murphy, who is the design engineer. I can explain it. He can explain it.
Okay, yeah, preliminary
Both
plan
explain
is
it, but-
fairly standard, but the other two I'm
This
not
is a
familiar
very
with.
minor detail related to stormwater.
Good
Okay,
evening, Mr. President. John Murphy, Alpha Consulting Engineers. The waiver 2, knocking out the inlet backs, it's corners, not covers. It's just the angle of the pipe
Okay.
going into the box.
okay,
And then the second one, it's an underground storage facility, it has more than adequate volume. It just takes a little longer to dewater. The dewatering thing is more like when you're worried about the Nile virus when it's above ground.
okay, but this is below ground. This is a
correct.
below
This is
ground
below
basin
ground.
retention.
Yes, sir.
Infiltration.
Infiltration system.
Okay. Thank you so much for that clarification.
You're
I
welcome, sir.
appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments before we vote on the waivers? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Planning Commission attached what is now 5 conditions for approval of the plan: to provide a copy of the approved sewage planning module or exemption request, provide a signed stormwater best management practice statement and wetland statement, provide a signed and executed operation and maintenance agreement, provide a signed statement of dedication, and lastly, provide financial security.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the plan with those conditions?
Second.
Moved and seconded. You figured out who, John? Janine.
Yeah.
I think Sean's got that. He got me on the jump ball.
If there are no comments, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for that sidewalk.
Hey.
Unfinished business, do we have any?
No update on the report, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Going to reports. Mr. Kratzer, do you have any?
We just have 2 traffic studies that Director Martin will review with you. Do speed limits on those. Mr. President, members of the board, first study before you is reduced speed limit sign. This came to us along Crooked Hill Road. Recommendation is as follows. Install a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit sign on the east side of Crooked Hill Road, south of Gulf Drive and north of Elmerton Avenue for northbound traffic, and place a reduced speed ahead sign on the east side of the roadway 500 feet before the speed reduction, which is just north of Paxton Church Road and south of Hammaker Road.
Move to
I know that's a lot.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment? So this is all north of the post office?
Well,
and
it's
Lindsay?
40 there,
Okay,
coming off of Elmerton, traveling north, and then essentially once you cross over to Paxton Church, it turns to the 25.
okay.
And it came to our attention that we need to be in compliance with Title 67, this speed reduction ahead sign. So when we looked at that,
Oh, okay.
some of these other things came to light.
Gotcha.
I was wondering who made that request.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been moved and seconded. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Traffic study for Wilhelm Road in the Circle School. This study was implemented to assess any road safety improvements to be made for the new Circle School off of Wilhelm Road. Our recommendations are as follow. Place a stop sign at the end of the Circle School driveway, which I really think should be the responsibility of the owner there, coming off of that property onto Wilhelm, and place a sharp turn ahead sign and painting slow with an arrow pointing to the right on Harwood at the address of 3407 Harwood Road.
So your suggestion is that we request the property owner to
Yes,
install the sign?
I
Now,
do.
would that be the Leader family, or would it be, there's a house right there as well, an individual home?
I think the Leader family has donated that land to the Circle School, so I would assume that's the responsibility of the Circle School.
Yeah.
Even where the house
It
is?
was separate from the leader.
We could take the lead on this and follow up with the Circle School.
Okay,
That might be the best thing to do.
yeah.
In order to install a stop sign, that requires an ordinance amendment to enforce a stop sign. So we will need to be directed to
Advertise.
Yep,
for the stop sign.
to make it enforceable.
Okay.
Well,
I would make,
isn't that comes out of that school, comes out of the Circle School. It seems to me like, well, you were saying, Chief, similar to what we have at Blue Mountain Commons, where the developer had put several stop signs within the complex
Yes.
to control it, and it seemed like it does control it.
I think the difference here, Commissioners, it's coming onto a township road.
I see.
That's what
Yeah.
I was going to ask. Is
I
that
see.
Yeah.
is that a township
So
road?
we want to make that one enforceable.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
So there's two requests here. One is a sharp turn, right, for heading east on
Yes.
Harwood,
Harwood, yes.
and the other for the advertisement request for the stop sign to be funded and placed by the property owner?
We can work with them to make sure the placement's proper
Okay,
within
I would make
Title
that
67 guidelines.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. There's a motion by Commissioner Pine,
It requires two different.
Second.
second by Commissioner Napper. Any comments? Does that cover it, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, it does.
Okay. All right, move to second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. Solicitor, Mr. Foreman, do you have anything tonight?
No, I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Anything from the fire marshal?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. School board, Commissioner Fleming?
Just to echo your comment earlier, Mr. President, tonight is Susquehanna Township's high school's graduation, and we wish the best for all of our graduates and extend additional congratulations to our colleagues, Commissioner Johnson and Commissioner Rabarchik, who each have a child graduating this evening. So go forth in the world and be very successful in everything you do. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. Very well put. Authority, Commissioner Sanderson.
No report, thank you.
Thank you. I would note that the audit has started finally,
has.
and they've done some groundwork, I believe, early this week.
That is correct. They did field work.
Okay, it's good to hear. Indian Wheels, anything there? You know,
We'll be meeting with them in the next few weeks, I think.
Okay.
That meeting has that changed
Yeah,
again?
no, the meeting is next week.
Yeah.
We'll be meeting with them to discuss an issue that they had, I think was mentioned initially by Commissioner Rabarchik concerning the potential replacement of the vehicle that
That was some
being
months
utilized
ago.
by,
Right.
by Indian Wheels. So
So we'd had to reschedule that 2 or 3 times, but finally we're getting around to it.
correct.
okay. More to come.
More to come. Yep.
All right, Shade Tree, Commissioner
No
Pine.
report. Mr.
Communications.
Mr. President, just to mention that the newsletter, township newsletter, has been shipped, mailed out to township residents, and if residents get a chance to look through it, I think it's quite informative. And I should also mention, if there's further questions, I would refer them to the township website, www.susquehannatwp.com. That's all.
That's really well done, especially like page 3.
That's a very handsome man there.
Yeah. Marvelous.
On the side.
All right, do we have any new business?
We do not.
All right, any commissioner comments?
Let's go Pens.
Realizing that the Stanley Cup is going to be
Yes.
on in 12 minutes. Okay, shall we pay some bills?
Mr. President, I move to accept the report of bills paid in the amount of $791,385.87.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Seconded? All in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Outta here.